Draft Physics video comments again, I suppose. So yes, still no rational comments regarding the relativity point I made. That I think's, if you people are so certain relativity is correct, then why don't you explain how light emitted from two different sources that somehow the physics changes. I thought of other ways you can change this experiment to, fuck with these people's heads, but the one guy's claiming the laser beam is, somehow secretly moving into the future, and nobody's noticing that because everybody's moving that way. The edmitter's moving, the person's moving, the hole's moving, they're all moving this way. And so we can pretend that somehow, really, from the person's perspective, it just went straight across and went through the hole. But obviously that can't be possible because it has to go into the future. Unless it got here instantaneously, it can't get here without going crooked. And how could you not notice it going crooked? So it can't go through the hole. It's just not possible. But I thought, what if their secret theory is the real truth is it goes straight across? Okay, well, let's just put a pipe here, half the distance. And so the light goes through the pipe because it's going straight and it's not doing this crooked thing. And then what does the observer outside see? Does he see the light all of a sudden do this big, huge angle now? Does it change the angle? How does the light get from this end of the tube to the hole if we're going to change, if the secret is the light really does somehow move forward and the observer in the thing moving can't see it. I'm just saying, the obvious change in the angle would be obvious that this is paradoxical, it doesn't work, it's nonsense. So anyway, so I have no responses though, so, to the light going through two holes from these snarky bastards. Anyway, I apologize for 2 posts. Oh, great, I haven't read that one. But as a thought experiment, are you saying that if we had 2 magnets in a box, what are you talking about? Pole to pole, and measured the arc active force by putting a kitchen scale between them, that the force at rest would change with velocity, as that's your implications? See what I'm getting at? No, because obviously the 2 magnets would bend the same way. I mean, I'm saying the force goes straight. It always goes straight. It doesn't bend. It goes straight. They're saying it bends. I like the thought experiment as I see it. Matter is not affected by velocity. See, if one of the magnets was stationary and one of the magnets was moving, then you could be arguing what I'm arguing, but you can't do it. I don't believe what they believe. Damn. Let's see. I like the thought experiment as I see it. The matter is not affected by velocity as the emitter is. As the emitter is. I don't even know what that means. The point is, light can't have 2 velocities. It can't go this way and forward. The electron has a forward velocity. I don't know what the electrons have to do with this. Equal to the emitter. I don't know what that has anything to do with it. And the measuring device hole is obvious to me that any observation made in the relative frame, it will indeed, I don't even know what that means. Velocity is only potential. Fuck you. So it's not traveling any further. Well, that's not what the 60 symbols guy says. He clearly says it travels further, and that's what the time dilation makes the difference somehow. It's obvious the only thing that is changing is time. Well, you say it's obvious that the only thing that's changing is time. I say that's complete bullshit. I mean, it's nonsense. Whatever this is, no disrespect, it's time. No, I'm sorry. No disrespect, but it creates paradoxes. You can't do that. The physics can only do one thing. This crap that you're allowed to see things differently is bullshit. You can't see something go, one guy says it went backwards, the other guy says it's forward. No, it went one way. And that's the point. And the point is the light can't get to the other fucking hole and travel straight. It's not possible unless it got there instantaneously, because the fucking hole is moving, god damn it. And the light can't move two directions. Shit. I mean, you know, so his comments are on the wrong video. So go to the relativity this video. I know I said I was done with this channel, and I hate to beckon my word. Oh, so you really do talk in 16th century vernacular. But I just watched your response to some of my comments, and apparently you are still insisting that a gun cannot fire. I didn't say it can't fire. I said the bullet can't go anywhere on a train traveling at 10,000 miles an hour. I said if you shoot the gun towards the back of the train, and it's going 10,000 miles an hour, and we accept that the bullet leaves at 10,000 miles an hour. What I said is that the bullet won't go anywhere. It will just fall off and hit the tracks. It won't make any forward progress. It will just lose all of its forward momentum from the train, idiot. Fuck relativity, fuck quantum field theory. Well, certainly fuck that. I don't care about that anymore. I just want to focus on the fact that you evidently hold a pre-Galilean view of physics. No, I actually understand that if something has 10,000 miles an hour of momentum in this direction, and I fire it this way at 10,000 miles of force, that it's going to go absolutely nowhere. It's like hitting a brick wall. It's done now. It's just going to stop moving. Dumbass. You realize this makes you a geocentric, right? No, I don't accept any of those critiques. I don't believe Galileo did any really brilliant experiments besides sipping tea. Maybe riding on an elephant, I don't know. But I don't think he did any great relativity experiments, retard. Either physicists from the time of Copernicus and Newton outward have been a part of a massive cover-up. Again, where am I accusing anyone of a massive cover-up? I'm saying the stupid theory, just like Heisenberg, where they say, well, the smallest thing in the universe, obviously we can't measure it because we can't make a ruler to measure something so small. Okay, and so what do they say? Do they say we don't have the tools to measure it? Or do they say, it's unmeasurable, it doesn't have a position, it doesn't have a weight, it doesn't have a condition, it's invisible, it's amorphous, it's all over the place. So that's their conclusion. They did the same thing with relativity. They said, hey, you know what, when we're moving on trains and planes and stuff and going very slow, it's really hard to tell from inside your moving vessel that you're moving because everything else material is moving with you. And the forces are going the speed of light, and it's really hard to see a difference in that. So you can't use light to tell the difference. So there's no constant you can use in the environment to tell. And they said because it happens at 40 miles an hour, it obviously happens at 3/4 of the speed of light. It's the same rules apply. You can't figure out how fast you're going. And I'm just pointing out that there's no principle involved there whatsoever. You can figure out how fast you're going. You just need the right measuring instrument. And fortunately, the faster you're going, the better light will work as a measuring instrument. That's what I'm saying. I wish I could dig up these dead heroes of the past because I think they'd say, shut up, Duke, you're an idiot. It's a perfectly rational argument. I mean, it's idiotic. They'd say, Heisenberg, what the fuck? Huygens, what the fuck? That's what they'd say. You realize this makes you a, anyway, either physicist, okay, cover-up. No, so there's no accusation of a cover-up. What there is an accusation of reckless and sloppy, arrogant fucktards like you. A little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. Same thing with Piro. Little bit of knowledge, dumb motherfucking cunt. Okay? He sees a paramecium move in a funny manner, and he assumes it must be conscious, and it's thirsty, and it wants to get out. Silly assumptions based on no evidence and very reckless perception skills. All right. All right. By far the largest conspiracy in human history. So again, more grotesquely excessive rhetoric.
There's no proof of, it's really hard to do a relativity experiment, okay? We can't go anywhere near the speeds necessary for when light makes it obvious. So we can only do them theoretically, and you know, these experiments are perfectly valid. Einstein wrote thought experiments to make arguments. He did it all the time. It's a perfectly rational thing to do. And the point is there's paradoxes built in to your presumptive theory that you can't measure your speed. And there's certainly paradoxes built into this idiotic notion that somehow, because when light's pointed in the direction you're moving, you can play this time dilation fixes everything bullshit. That doesn't hold true for the stuff going perpendicular. There's no rule that says the perpendicular stuff now acts just as wacky. That seeing something slower is somehow going to make light travel an impossible path. It's an impossible path. The light can't get to the second hole. It can't happen. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, in human history, and the Catholic Church, which hanged scientists for their heresy of suggesting the Earth's center sun was on the right side of history all the time, or you're insane. Yeah, well, whatever. Obviously, I'm not, that's a straw man argument, because obviously I'm not saying the Earth is the center of the solar system, so again, just cheat some more. And it has a link to how fast the Earth moves. I don't know how that's going to fix the fact that you're arguing for a paradoxical impossibility. And you're too stupid to understand that a bullet that has 10,000 miles of velocity in one direction and you fire it in the opposite direction, that means the momentum the bullet already has is going to be neutralized. Dumbass. I mean, either the person, you know, you can't have it both ways. Either the person shooting the gun or the gun has to move an extra 10,000 miles. That means it has to go 20,000 miles away. Something has to move when there's an explosion, shithead. The force has to go somewhere. And clearly the force is going to go directly into the bullet, and the bullet is going to stop going 10,000 miles an hour in one direction, and now not be going 10,000 miles in any direction. God, you're just such a dumb fuck. Oh, Quintica. Hey, and Mendham, have you seen the theory going around about time crystals? No, I don't watch flat earthers. I don't watch psychotic defenders of the faith. I don't do a lot of stupid things. Jesus Christ. I see what you mean. It's BS. Well, it's not a very elaborate comment, but thanks. So this is Seri Pi or something. You know, these are the idiots on the actual relativity this video. So this is how irrelevant people are. It could be argued that you are both correct / incorrect. It could only be argued by an idiot. If you never factor in the distance between the opening of the hole to the other side of the ship to the receiver. Look, you know, you have to follow along. This is a conversation about an experiment that's been described in like no less than 6 videos now. And you could just, with your own imagination, recognize that the spaceship is probably a minimum of 4 feet across. That means at half the speed of light, okay, if it's moving half the speed of light. That means for every 2 feet, okay, the light travels, the ship moved 1 foot. So you understand? The bullet's going to miss by a long way. The laser beam's going to miss not by a few millimeters. No, it's going to miss the hole by feet. So it's really not an issue, douche. I think it's obvious. Well, I don't see you. What you think is obvious isn't going to make any difference. It's going to be just plain stupid. That if the distance was small enough, yeah, it would have to be at half the speed of light. You still get 2 inches if it's just 4 inches across. You still get 2 inches. Yes, the laser beam would go through for whatever brief amount of time. Well, you're an idiot then, because then you believe all of a sudden when the light hits the one hole, and here's the other hole, it instantaneously jumped over there.
See, you're just not getting it. The hole's moving half the speed of light this way. This is moving the speed of light. So this is going 2 times as fast as this. There's no way this can overcome that problem. It's always going to be moving. For every inch this thing goes, this thing moves a ½ inch, idiot. So unless the light goes instantaneously from here to here, it's missing the fucking hole. Shit. Anyway. I'm not a math whiz. You don't need to be a math whiz. It's half the speed of light. You can figure out that half of something means the thing that's a whole is twice as much as the half. Now, does that, you have to be a math whiz to do that? No. But it seems there's 3 things to equate here. Laser beam, ship, and distance of the 2 holes in the ship. Well, like I said, the distance is just about irrelevant unless you think I was describing a Hubei spaceship or something. I mean, how you can have a spaceship that's like less than a foot across? I mean, at a foot, you're still talking about missing by 6 fucking inches. Alright. To add on, I think the particular example can be further examined by asking, look, fuck you. What size is the laser beam? It's about the standard size. What size are the 2 holes? I don't give a fuck. Bigger than the beam of the laser, let's say. But it really doesn't matter, because even if it was smaller than the laser beam, some of the photons should be able to get through, and the little light should go on. Okay? So it really doesn't fucking matter. They're fucking holes. What size is the receiver? It doesn't matter. The receiver is just collecting. The receiver is 4 million miles across. It doesn't matter. The receiver's just collecting whatever gets through, you shithead. What's the distance between the 2 holes? It just doesn't matter, 2 T's. All of these things would change whether your example is true or false. Well, guess what? Not all of them would. So you're just being an obnoxious asshole. You're doing this arrogant thing. I know something. You don't know shit. Fuck. This is the same way I've seen you pick apart other arguments. I've learned from the best, from you in Mendham, LOL. I don't pick apart things by asking questions that, frankly, again, how can you haven't watched any of these videos apparently. I mean, and again, it doesn't even matter if you haven't watched the videos. Your points are moot. Doesn't matter how big the hole is as long as it's a hole that a photon can get through. And it doesn't matter what the distance is as long as it's more than, as long as it's something measurable. The ship has to actually be some measurable distance apart. Okay, the holes have to be a measurable distance apart so you can actually figure out, you know, what half of that distance is. Shit. Good day, Gary. Oh, fuck you. I suggest you take a look at MIT's trillion frame per second camera. What a pile of crap. You know, it's not a trillion frame per second camera. I mean, it's just a bogus. It's like Pirot's tunneling microscope. It's a virtual camera. It's not looking at real photons. It's synthetically creating them. Oh, damn. Watch closely your photon packet light theory. No, fuck you. You will notice light exists before the photon arrive. Light remains after photon are gone. Yeah, that's not a reality. So pretend, 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 pretend. You're a sucker and a fool, okay? These people want to get funded, so they pretend they're doing something really, really interesting when they're doing something really, really lame. Also, take note of the surrounding light frame by frame. Look, the camera's a piece of shit. Go ahead, link to it. Link to their great. Look, they actually have a video, a 2-minute video up, and they show a stupid image of a Coke bottle. It's nothing. And again, it's a synthesized image. Who the fuck cares? It's a synthetic. Oh, you're so dumb. Again, I state light does not travel, it exists. Well, fuck you, you're an idiot. And is perceived by you when the environment allows the sun is... Look, we have light sensors that don't have anything to do with perceiving, you idiot.
They sense the light because the light creates electricity, you stupid fuck. It hits an electron and the electrons cascade into an electric current, you dumb ass. Physics is a science can move forward while everyone keeps their head in the theories of the past. Cheers. No, there's no cheers and there's no good day. You're talking absolute rubbish. You might as well be talking your God theory. You think I'm going to say good day to some fucking religious kook? Okay, you're a religious kook, a truther kook, a loser, stupid motherfucking cunt who just talks crap he pulled out of his fucking ass, or he pulled out of fucking some big fat camera guy's ass. P.S. My country good day means hello. I don't give a fuck. I don't say hello in my videos, do I? I'm not a hello kind of person. Okay, hi pallies. Hi YouTubers. Do you see me? Oh, I have videos where I do that shit. No, I don't do that shit. And if that's what you preoccupy your time is with these fake little courtesies, I have no courtesy to give somebody who's talking absolute shit. Now, if you had a good brain and you were smart, well then maybe you might earn a hi pal, but I don't even think then I'm going to do it. Just a greeting, nothing more. It has no reference. No, it's a kind of patronizing crap that I have to accept, number one, your notion that it's a good day, or that there's something to cheer about. Yeah, I have nothing to cheer about here. Seeing another idiot talk fucking idiocracy doesn't make me fucking happy, jackass. It's not a good day when I see another fucking idiot talking fucking shit. Alright, and I have nothing to be cheery about, because you're a shit talker. Fuck. I might be completely wrong here, but you are talking about the wave collapse theory? Well, you know, who knows what he's talking about, but you're just as big a loop-de-doo. That when you don't look at the moon, it's not really that, it's just a bunch of waves, etc. I might be totally off base here. Well, no doubt you probably are. Why don't you people be off base somewhere else? If I could expand on sun is not a ball of light. I don't even know what that means. I was referring to the makeup of the sun. Well, everybody knows the sun isn't just made out of light, you idiot. It's a fucking nuclear, bomb in process, you jackass. My point being that the sun, like a handheld torch, simply unveils light. I have no interest in any wave theories when it comes to light. No, you have the secret, the special, whatever. Light is a perturbation in the magic field. Waves represent travel, which I don't believe light does. I don't even understand that. You're an idiot. An insane, crazy, stupid idiot. You think I have a coaxial cable running from my eye to all the photons on the sun. I have a bunch of coaxial cables. Fucking idiot. Oh, the stinky cunt liar. You're wrong. The width of both the slits and the distance between them are in the equations. You won't actually learn. Well, why don't you post a link to them? I've shown people doing the equations, and the distance of the slits isn't put into the equations. Khan Academy didn't have them in the equation. The nice Asian woman didn't have them in the equation. So why don't you show me the equation that has the distance of the slits in the equation? Instead of just saying it, why don't you just post a link to it? Pyro, if you or anyone else, Marvelous, reads this, please respond to 3630 because it is the key to the whole thing. Oh, well, the new video is even keyer, but okay. Yeah, that's on the two slit stuff. And Piro's claim that, let me see, what was that video about? Can't remember. But yeah, I mean, I played that part of the video, I remember. Yeah, so yeah, it's relevant. But the whole 10 minutes after that was good. Alright, photon is not a particle, it's a coaxial circuit. See, I mean, what do I want these people? Go away. I mean, I really don't want to go to the trouble to block you, but I mean, I'm really not interested in arguing Ken's theory. I'll argue it with Ken. But I'm not going to argue it with you, douchebag. I mean, unless you can make a video explaining it. Why don't you draw me a picture of your coaxial circuit? You don't even understand what a coaxial circuit is? It's a wire surrounded by another conductive wrapper. That's what a coaxial circuit is. And you think that's what the simplest thing in the universe is. God, you're fucking stupid. Although your comment with the bullet is correct, but the laser beam, it will make it through both sides. How will it do that, idiot? Especially because your intercepting device is only going about half the speed of light. There's no intercepting device moving half the speed of light. There's two holes in the ship. So yes, that's the right video. It's the video with the two holes in the ship, idiot. What intercepting device is there? The holes are perpendicular, idiot. If the light goes through the first hole and the second hole is moving, how can it go through the second hole? Shit for brain. Fucktard. Moron. Unless the light jumps there instantaneously. Instantaneously. And by the way, light. Oh, fuck you and your. And by the way. Oh, and by the way, I totally understand everything and I can give you instructions. Fuck you can. Light, or the speed of it, is the subject of is subject to the medium. There is no medium. This has already been tested. No, it hasn't. If it was a particle, it would be subject to deflection. No, it wouldn't. You think there's an ether. That's your prerogative. And again, in kinetics, you can't even describe a deflection.
In a head-on collision anyway. I mean, if a photon actually could hit a photon, nothing would happen. Two things go in this way, two things leave this way. Now, if they miss each other or they hit each other, it's still, this is the world. Nothing changes.
Dumbass. Okay. Alright, by the way, it's been tested. A coaxial circuit has a predictable path when it reflected. You can't reflect a coaxial circuit in any kind of rational way. So this is just such a pile of shit. It's a predictable path, making it a long, straight coaxial circuit. It's just insane. A particle would not have an exact path. Yeah, it would. Light travels from point A to point B in a straight line because there's nothing to stop it. A force has to stop it. And forces don't affect forces. That's already a known fact, idiot. And focus or guidance would be inconsistent adjustment. In constant adjustment or whatever. Your argument is interesting because a medium induces friction to a straight coaxial circuit. A particle drawing a straight line is not probable since the function of the medium would deflect it. You said the same thing twice, you idiot. Clearly forces don't affect forces. It's just a fact. I'm at a loss. How is a photon a coaxial circuit? Oh yeah, so he's making the Ken argument. Has the definition of a coaxial circuit been Wikipedia'd? Perhaps you mean that a photon is part of a coaxial circuit. That's even worse. Or perhaps I'm really as dumb as the rock I'm sitting on? Question. Now, where have I heard the coaxial circuit stuff before? Yeah, right. Ken the kook. Hi, Gary Ann. Gerald Morin Project just sent me an update. Well, I don't really care. It's a silly pile of nothing. So until you have something real, I'm really not interested. Can't you understand? I'm debunking conventional physics and I'm defending my theory. I'm not doing Gerald's work for him. What about gravitational lensing? If space isn't warped by a massive object, then why does light seem to bend around a star? Well, you're saying it seems to bend around a star. I've already played all the gravitational. I've showed the gravitational images. I've explained how they're in the wrong location, how their physics doesn't make any sense, that the inverse square law doesn't make a very good lens. You couldn't get much detail. How come there's detail in some of those lensing images? Because really, frankly, there's no way you could get detail. It's an R-squared lens. It's a really bad
Curve for a lens. Really, really bad curve for a lens. It makes one ugly motherfucking lens.
Anyway. Alright, mindless marble cunt fucking bastard. Well, he's not a cunt fucker. He's an ass fucker. A fucking dog ass fucker. The Ives Stilwell experiment already showed that hydrogen emission, or whatever the fuck a laser relies on, follows the transverse Doppler effect. Well, this isn't about a Doppler effect, shithead. In such a way that it agrees with special relativity. Well, because something agrees with special relativity. As I pointed out, if you want to make the flashlight argument,
Shoot a flashlight forward. You're going half the speed of light this way. You shine a flashlight forward. I'm saying the light's going to be leaving at half the speed of light from your location. But yes, if you're asleep, most of the time you could see the light going at the real speed, but you have to travel 1 gazillion, zillion, 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 zillion. You have to travel around the universe 16 times to actually see the light move the speed of light. But there's no theoretical reason it can't be. So yes, something can be consistent with relativity, but it has absolutely nothing to do with this subject, shithead. It has nothing to do with stuff moving perpendicular to your momentum, jackass. In such a way that it agrees with special relativity. And on top of that, like that means something. Oh, it means absolutely nothing. It's not relevant to this subject, shithead. The light for the laser has to be inside a fucking cavity to get coherency and parallel light. And mirrors, that's right. By your retarded theory, the light wouldn't even get out of the laser before it's swept by the cavity. Prove that. Demonstrate that somehow. Show me how that's true. How is what I'm arguing, that light actually travels in straight lines, makes lasers impossible? Go ahead and show me that. Oh, you're doing this stupid time code shit again. And at 5840, when the light leaves through the windows, and it keeps going straight at that angle. There's no windows. There's holes, but whatever. Go ahead and play your window game. It's not going to switch its direction to go back to being perpendicular. And anything like that. What the fuck would make you think that? So this isn't even on the right video. You are the one saying light would bend, not me. And that's a failure on your part. No, I'm saying the photons go straight, and when something moves away from photons going straight, okay, and you think it's supposed to go in this hole, you're saying that looks bent to me because you're standing back here, and your emitter's here, and so the light ended up going straight, and that annoys you somehow because now it looks like the light bent backwards. Well, that's exactly what it's doing because each photon is coming from the emitter in a different location. The emitter was here for this photon, the emitter was here for this photon, the emitter was here for this photon, the emitter was here for this photon. And it's exactly all straight fucking lines, retard.
Dumbass. Shithead. Okay, to anything like that, what the fuck would make you think that? Yeah, the facts would make me think that. Also, last time you talked about the Michelson-Morley experiment, all you said was was just some elementary bullshit about the Doppler effect. What I said is that you can't change the... Alright, let's be careful. All of the mirrors become emitters. Okay, every time you reflect, you're re-emitting. So all of those are going to add up in terms of distances. And they all, in the end, have to compensate if you've created something of the same distance. So what I'm saying is the experiment is moot, because no matter which way you turn it, you're always changing something's angle. I mean, I gave you an example of an angled mirror. And if you move the angled mirror, it changes where on the mirror you hit. And see, if you will get impacted by the mirror sooner or later, okay, depending on how fast the mirror is moving and this angle. So that changes distances. That's what I said. That would have any bearing on the results. Frankly, I'm not even sure if you still understand the experiment. I understand it has 18 mirrors in it. Well, 16. That's what I understand. And something called a beam splitter, which ends up being a diffraction gradient. It would be helpful if you did a write-up on explaining why you think its null results are invalidated. Again, why are you arguing that I think its null result is invalidated? Why do you think I think there's an ether and that I think an experiment, okay, that has no unmoved position? I mean, in the sense that you're always creating the same problem. You can't measure something if you don't have any leg that isn't changing. You're just changing which leg moves. So how can you change the result? Well, let's see which way is a better way to say that. You're always calibrating not to an actual, they don't get the distances right. All they do is
have two random distances almost, and then they adjust the mirrors to create a pattern that has no fringes in it. But that doesn't mean these two distances are the same.
They're just focusing on a phase. They're not focusing on the actual, like one leg is actual, the right distance, and some other leg is the other distance. Anyway, as soon as you move the experiment, you just put mirrors that were in one condition of momentum into the condition of the other mirror's momentum. It's the same problem. And as long as they have an equal number of interactions, it's always going to end up that you have, that your emitter was moving and then your receiver was moving away. So your emitter's moving forward, your receiver's moving away. That problem is always going to exist no matter which way you turn it. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. I mean, we've already done the Michelson-Morley over and over. I don't think it's significant, and I'm certainly not disputing the fact that they didn't find a difference. Because frankly, I don't even think they could find it with such a small experiment. I don't think it's even possible. I don't think they could even get past the same problem of the noise and being able to detect the difference. It would be helpful if you did a write-up on it. Okay, well, I'll do a write-up on a lot of these interferometer experiments, because I did that. I showed the one at MIT. All right, and the fact is, when the guy is making the phase change in the two patterns, he's moving the mirror a huge amount, and you're saying, well, it should just be a nanometer differences, right? I mean, you're talking about 700 nanometers should change the phase. So how could he be moving at inches if 700 nanometers should make a difference? It's the length of the wavelength. I mean, that's what we're measuring here, is the length of a wavelength when you're using an interferometer. I mean, when you're using something like a phase difference to detect a difference, then the phase difference happens on every 700 nanometers. Shit. I found a recent experiment actually shows isotropy of the speed of light because they have to do a goddamn searching that you can't do. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, and I went to this paper, and go ahead. Anybody who wants to, go ahead and look up this stupid experiment. He says he understands it. He knows that that experiment proves something. 17 mirrors, they even jump up and go over and then jump into another experiment. And the experiments have all kinds of boxes, where stuff goes in and stuff comes out. Who the hell knows what's in those boxes? Who the hell knows what's happening? And he says that experiment demonstrates something. Fuck you. Right, they can't explain, they can't accurately describe the two-slit experiment that has almost no moving parts and has got to be the simplest motherfucker in the world, and they can't accurately describe what happens there, and I'm supposed to trust these fuckers about what they're seeing. Fuck you. I don't even have a problem with you critiquing the interpretations, but then when you don't understand relativity, no, I understand what forces are, you don't understand what forces are. You think you can give a force two momentums. You're a dumb fuck. And then have the audacity to call it religion while making your theory out to be evolution. That's where everything starts to go ludicrous. Well, it says you, fuck you. Your evidence sucks. Your arguments suck. This idiotic notion that, for no good reason, it just moves forward. Except it doesn't really move forward because it goes straight across instantaneously. Quite obviously, because it has to go instantaneous if it's going to go straight across. There are times where I felt sorry because you... because I was wondering whether you were willing to understand. No, yeah, you're so patronizing. Fuck you. Or whether you were just unable to understand it. No, you're the one who's the obnoxious, arrogant cunt who's saying, I know this to be true. I know there's no way you can test how fast you're going. I know because that's what they told me. Based on experiments done at 40 miles an hour drinking tea in a train. I'm only pressing the salt against the wounds because that's what you drive people to do. Yeah, and you drive people to say, oh, will you fuck off already? If we had a write-up of why the MM experiment no result is invalidated, so he says the same thing again, the same fucking sentence, as if the result is invalidated. Where am I contesting the result? I'm not arguing there's an ether, retard. Fuck. Or why the, whatever this is, interferometer experiment doesn't work. Well, I already explained why there's problems with interferometers, because all of the pieces are moving. God damn. It would be set in stone and there could see exactly where the problems are and whether or not the rebuttal makes sense. Well, again, the claim is, look, if they're detecting an ether, then, you know, Michelson-Morley guy hadn't a reason to think that his experiment was sensitive enough to detect the difference. If you're trying to detect the absolute difference between a path length difference, all right, you know, with no ether, then it's going to be a lot more subtle, and so you're measuring a much smaller difference, and you're obviously going to be better off not looking for a phase difference. You're going to be better off looking for a change in the you know, left to right or up and down. But that's what the persona you built. You are getting exactly what you deserve in return. No, you're the snarky asshole who came on my videos and talked like you're a fucking authority, okay? And say, oh, you got to listen to me and learn from me. Fuck you, I do not. I'm contesting your silly fucking theories, your silly fucking relativity religion. It's a fucking crock of shit. And you're defending it with these absolute statements and then saying, well, here's an experiment that does something completely different. Well, yeah, that's a great argument. The experiment from completely different. Asshole. Oh my god. Let's see. So this was light speeds. All right. If you actually think that we're saying implies light can go faster, look, realistically, the hole, it moves away. So there's no way you can get to the hole without moving a greater distance. It can't happen. And the outside observer is not going to see the light go slower. He's going to see the regular light get to the hole, isn't he? Isn't he? If it goes through the hole, he's going to see it at normal speed. It's the person on the vehicle that can't see right? His perception doesn't have to do with the fact. And if the light goes that longer distance, it has to go a faster speed, idiot. Shit. Then you don't understand what we're saying. You haven't demonstrating a single time that you understand what we're saying. No, I understand what you're saying is a lie in terms of it has absolutely no merit as it's a thought experiment, and you're claiming you have some evidence that light comes out of lasers crooked when I move them. But it doesn't really. It really comes out instantaneously and jumps to the perpendicular side of the ship. It actually moves instantaneously. It doesn't move faster. It instantaneously arrives at the other side of the ship, goes through the hole, and then pretends to take extra time to go through the hole, maybe. It's paradoxical nonsense. Alright. Over the months, I've actually have not, for most of the part, been arguing for why the things does happen. I've been trying to get you to understand what the fuck we're arguing for, and we're still at this again. Yes, you're arguing for some sort of idiotic religious dogma that says, you can't know how fast you're going. And I've argued from the beginning that, no, light's a constant. It always does one thing, and it doesn't matter what your fucking frame is. Light will always do the same thing. That is, it'll move from point A to point B at a constant speed and in a straight fucking line. And all this crap is just crap. It's your fucking dogmatic religion, and you're telling me I must accept it. You don't want me to understand. I do understand it. It's a religion. You have a God theory that lasers can't shoot straight when they're moving. All right. You say that light goes at C up and half C right. I don't know why he keeps saying up. Does somebody understand? Can somebody explain to me why he keeps saying up? I guess because I draw it and so the drawing looks like it's going up. I mean, obviously the drawing is the spaceship's going this way. There's a person standing here. Here's his head, his shoulders, okay? And the light goes across the ship. Now, maybe you see that as going up, but it's going across. Now, it doesn't really matter if you shoot it up and down, I suppose, but I'm just saying, I don't know why you don't understand that we're looking down from above. Anyway, so it would be slower up, so the total diagonal speed would still be c. Well, again, it doesn't go forward, so there is no total diagonal speed. It's just idiotic. And you can't say the total diagonal speed would be c if it's a longer distance. They talk about this in the 60 symbols video. It's not complicated. No, the 60 symbols guy said it does take longer. That's the time dilation part. The 60 symbols video was literally arguing the exact same reason you were arguing time dilation. No, he's arguing exactly your idiotic point, that somehow the light just magically goes forward, okay? It just instantaneously jumps from one side of the ship to the other side of the ship so it can go perpendicular. And if you have to dance and move to the right, you have to dance slower. Again, this is the perception argument. It doesn't work for perpendicular movement. If we're talking about light going the direction you're going, or light going opposite direction, then you can play this, well, we'll just pretend I waited 1 billion years to watch the light go away at the speed of light. Like I traveled 1 billion years, and that way I could see it do that. But that's the only way. You have to completely kill, you have to change your frame rate by 1,000,000 times slower. You make your frame rate 1,000,000 times slower, and then you can see it the way you want to see it. Same with the light clock. If the clock has to move to the right, the ticks would have to be slower. There's no ticks. There's no such thing as a light clock. You can't make one. The clock breaks. There's no clock going back and forth. Light doesn't go back and forth in the fucking spaceship. 60 symbols is full of shit. Light doesn't do that. It goes this way, and then it goes this way, it goes this way. Okay, there's no clock. The clock's broken. You can't make a light clock work in something moving half the speed of light, because your detectors and receivers can't detect and receive. Unless I suppose you could shape the mirrors so that they bounce back, so that might work. But anyway, you're just dumb. If the clock has to move to the right, the clicks no. Okay. What you draw at 1925 with the moon is beyond nonsense. Well, I'm not going to bother with this time code. You already addressed these two comments ago. And, well, again, so he's arguing that the light, he says the light from the laser, because of the velocity, comes out this way and goes to the future. And yet he's saying when the moon's shining light, somehow its momentum doesn't make the light go crooked. And if the light goes crooked, it's going to miss the observer. So it's not nonsense. You just don't want to deal with the paradoxes you're creating. Whatever disappointment you have, your thoughts about other stupidity is exactly reciprocated by everyone else. Well, again, that's right. They're either I'm a dumbass or either you're a dumbass, and it's a colossal dumbass. Because this isn't that complicated. All right? It really isn't. So, yeah, one of us is colossally wrong. And obnoxiously so. I can go on and look. Okay, so again, he's bringing up the same piece of shit fucking experiment with, spinning radioactive particles and detectors and all kinds of nonsense, and like that has something to do with light moving perpendicular to velocity, or something to do with a force coming off perpendicular to a velocity. Experiment and the Mosenberg experiment further, but all you have are knee-jerk reactions saying it's bullshit. I'm saying it's not relevant. You demonstrate the relevancy and then show me that you understand the experiment. Show me detail in some way that you somehow understand what they're talking about. Okay? That they somehow can isolate a gluon and a muon, and then they can spin them, and then they can, see how many dress shirts fly off. I mean, fuck you. There's no point, but I like your points. Your post. He will simply dismiss anything that doesn't match his theory. Dismissed it with an argument, that's right. I'm dismissing it with images and drawings and explanations of why you people are full of shit. He enjoys thinking he has all the answers. No, I don't enjoy any of this. I find this preposterously stupid. I didn't think people would be anywhere near this goddamn dumb. You explain to them how these silly concepts like Heisenberg, photons don't know where they are, they're amorphous. And then they made electrons into fucking bubbly things around atoms, but now electrons don't even know where the fuck they are. And you think all that's great, and then you get this stupid relativity theory that makes this idiotic principle up out of nothing that says you can never figure out how fast you're going because there's no constant in the universe from which to measure. Fuck you. He enjoys ragging on people and feeling superior. No, I really don't enjoy any of this. I really don't understand why I have to do this. To have this idiotic argument because you people are so rigidly glued to this fucking fanatically stupid goddamn physics. This is just another way for him to continue doing that on YouTube. He's tired of doing it with philosophy. Well, that had nothing to do with this thing, so that's just a grotesque lie. I honestly thought the explanation of photons splitting in half, especially in the single slit experiment, was just absolute nonsense. You just couldn't get sillier. You couldn't get more. It's worse than a fucking God theory. I think the Holy Ghost has more chance of existing than photons splitting in half, doing calculus, and then arriving in a location. I think that's just the silliest fucking explanation ever. I went out to prove it, and I did it. Fuck you. Alright, I know you've had this pointed out many times, but I still say again, the reason that light appears to travel at sea on the ship is that as on the ship as well as on the ground, well again, this has nothing to do with how, I don't give a fuck about how fast it's traveling. I'm talking about whether it gets through the fucking hole, you fucking cunt. I don't even give a fuck about your stupid argument of how fast it's going. The point is, does it go through the fucking hole or not? And the only way it goes through the fucking hole is that it has to travel crooked, you dumb shit. Is because of time dilation. Well again, how does time dilation make something, the angle change? How does that happen, fuckhead? I'm so sick of people who aren't into real science anymore. I mean, just a disgusting statement. Well, anyway, I'm not going to read the rest of this. I think I already did, actually, but fuck it. Watch the new video and then explain your rubbish. Perhaps you could put it in more blue-collar layman terms that someone still in middle school could understand. His basic question is, where's the proof the light doesn't go straight? The goal is for everyone here should be answer that basic question in a way that a Mindum can completely understand. Well, I don't know if there's anything in here about him talking about light going straight or not. Obviously, he's talking about how fast it's going. To anybody out there listening to morons like Gary and thinking that makes sense, you must be an expert at something. Wait a minute. Think about what you do for a living. Well, again, I've done more interesting things in my life than you have, jackass. Oh, this is where he says he's a computer science. For instance, I'm a computer scientist, which means like he plays, video games all day. You don't have any logic skills, so I don't buy that at all. But frankly, I was using, CPUs and transistors probably before you were born, douchebag. If anybody made a video about how computers are sentient and ruling the world, I would be able to refute them point by point. I don't think you would be. How the fuck would you be able to do that? But if some guy is sitting in his home watching nonsense like that, he may not have the tools to know why it's wrong. That's what I hate about YouTube. Yeah, well, I hate exactly the same thing. You can spout all this puke. And that's all it is. It's stuff made out of your fucking ass. You can make claims about you know something. Oh, I'm a computer scientist. I know that if a bullet's going 10,000 miles an hour in one direction, I can make it go 10,000 miles in the other direction, okay, without adding 20,000 miles an hour of explosion. No, you can't do that, jackass. At one point in this stupid video, you can say, well, I don't use real numbers. What? Well, you don't use real numbers anyway, so who cares? I said in the fucking equation, he's doing the equation, and I'm saying, well, Joke, if he would have put real numbers in the equation, like how fast the ship's going and an actual number, filled in the variables, the equation would have been a little more interesting than just saying lambda pi lambda. That would have been it would have been a lot easier to follow if he would have put actual numbers in for the variables. Then you could see, oh, okay, that's the width, and that's the length, and that's the speed of light. That would have made it more interesting, fuckhead. Yeah, that's called algebra, you big dummy. Yeah, I'm just saying, I just said, personally, I don't see any point in doing the math if you're not going to finish the math. If you're not going to put numbers in for the variables, then what's the point? I don't see any, I just don't see any point in leaving it in hieroglyphics when you can turn it into English. And here's the thing that is so sad. Somewhere along the line, our society has somehow enabled morons to think they know shit when they are clearly don't know shit. Well, I'm claiming you don't clearly know shit, and I'm going to bury you in your fucking shit, fuckhead. And you can't talk, and you can talk loud, and other individuals sit there and think, oh, he must be right because he's called Einstein an asshole. I don't think that earns anybody. I don't think Ken Wheeler is right because he called Einstein an asshole. As if loudness and vulgarity and accusing others of fucking their pets is some sign of authenticity. As if your claims that I'm a computer scientist and you're a moron and you need to read and you need to look up relativity and you need to look up inertial frames, that kind of rhetoric is anything other than just stupid, crass insults, you fucking rude cunt. And therefore some kind of litmus test for the truth. Well, I don't play that game. I don't play your game. You steal somebody else's identity. You have no content. You boldly say you're the man and you have no dick. You have no balls and you have no dick. I don't have the energy. For instance, you could sit here and insinuate that you're the same kind of necrophilic and talk about how you dig up your mother. Yeah, again, you're the one who comes with the insults and then you complain about the insults you get back. You inverted penis, you know, dildo stuck in your ass, you know, yeah, jackass looking for an anal twitch. But really, I'm done here. Go ahead and think whatever you want about physics. Okay, so I guess I think that one was more than before. Lenny, okay, so Dr. Samuel's cunt brain. Well, that's only logical. Response to many will never change. Why would I change? I'm not the one. Look, I'm an asshole. But again, as I said before, compared to your asshole, okay, I smell sweet. My crimes are minimal. Your crimes are the maximal. I don't go on other people's video and type rubbish like this. I don't invite a fight. Okay, you assholes do. You're impolite and you're rude. You don't ask questions and you don't challenge somebody by saying, well, what if blah, 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 in some kind of polite manner. No, you just obnoxiously declare your superiority and then insult the person's intelligence and then you expect them to take that crap. And why would anybody with any integrity do that? Why would I take your shit, doctor? You haven't proven you're a doctor. You're another guy stealing somebody else's identity. You're riding on somebody else's coattails, you fucking weasel. Some guy living alone in Mendham, like that matters. Not some hidden genius with the secrets of the universe. And what form would that take? A god, for example? You can't have that. I understand that. I really do. But your theory will never be proven. There's a prediction by you. Oh, what are your predictions based on? Oh, that's right. You just pulled that out of your ass. And you'll never win a Nobel Prize. Well, what will you do? Will you cut your throat if I do? What's your penalty for your predictions being so grotesquely wrong? You arrogantly type them. You actually press buttons on a keyboard, claiming you know something. Well, what if you're wrong, asshole? Because it doesn't fucking work. Yet, well, it does fucking work, and it works damn good. And you don't have the necessary skills, knowledge, experience, or humility to start over and make it work. No, it already works. It doesn't fit the experiments. Yes, it does. It doesn't have a mathematical model. Yes, it does. Most of the existing math is fine. Like I stated, I like Newton's equation, except I would just make M1 and M2 separate equations. That can make accurate predictions. You say they don't accurate. I'm saying it's going to be found out that you can't bend light with magnetism. You can't bend light with a nuclear bomb. You can't bend light with any force in the universe, especially gravity. And so, you know, you're going to have that Einstein fart on your face, shithead. You throw out evidence that doesn't fit with it. I don't throw it out, I question it, okay? You say you have nail-in-the-coffin evidence, and yet you can't describe the experiment accurately. Isn't that kind of a giveaway? So you have this tremendous great evidence, and then you have to lie about it. If somebody came into court and said, look, I got this great blood evidence, but now I'm going to, and they have to lie on it. They have to try to gild the lily. That's evidence of weakness, not strength. When you have to lie, that's evidence of weakness, fucker. Keep doing these videos, though. They make you feel better. I get it, but you're living in a fantasy land. Well, it doesn't. I don't give a fuck about your opinion, obviously, because you're a stupid fuck, and you prove that with your stupid claims and your stupid authorizations, and you know what you're talking about, and you can judge because you have the superior understanding and you've done the superior work. Fuck you. You're a dumbass. Let's see. People in middle school need to study 10 more years. Well, I don't think anybody needs to study 10 years to figure out that push is simpler than pull. And I don't think somebody needs to study 10 years to figure out that, wait a minute, one photon goes into a slit. It jumps into two photons. They send out radar waves, and then the photon figures out where the radar waves tell it should go, and it goes there. Yeah, fuck that. I think you will try the laser experiment and intend to be here when it happens. You know what that means? Yeah, I'm going to point out that the laser experiment, I'm going to show what the beam looks like, and then I'll show what the beam is 100 feet away, and I'll point out, yeah, how am I going to see photons, rays of light being moved by the Earth's change in its path when there's a million amounts of noise in the signal? Yeah. Alright, loneliness and vulgarity equals glib. I don't know what that means. Also agree with you on this. The fallacies that they lead tends to be coupled with lots of regret and insecurities. Well, again, I don't have any of that, you shithead. And what is your icon of? What is this crap? What do you represent? Come on, usually, it doesn't show it because I guess I have this loaded in a save file. Let's see who this cunt is. Alright, so he has goofy pictures. Oh, so he's a goofy guy. Oh, look at that. Peas. Yeah, you're a serious man, huh? Job hunting. Oh. Yeah, well, I hope you get that real important janitor job. Stupid asshole. Now, I know that people point out insecurities as an easy way to put someone down, but I actually mean it. I figure, I'm just about the most uninsecure person. I am so vain and full of myself. I mean, it's just the silliest goddamn argument. I guess much respect that you've seen, researched, and carefully put into books, lectures, etc., despite some apparent contradictions. Basically, being skeptical doesn't mean destroying the other person's view. Well, whatever this whole bullshit is. I'm so sick of the word skeptical. It's connect the dots. You're saying you have strong evidence for Heisenberg, Huygens, dark matter, Copenhagen interpretation, bent space. You have strong light getting bent by gravity. There's strong, uncontrovertible evidence. No, there isn't. The whole discussion reminds me of this video. I agree that light can't have... Oh, this is the gun. Yeah, so they're trying to do this thing where I guess in some movie somebody bends a bullet by moving the gun when he fires, and so he shoots a crooked bullet. And so those guys who test that kind of stuff tried to do it, and they couldn't make a bullet move two ways. See, the problem with bullets is... So this is another tricky part of the inertial frames is... See, inside of a gun... the explosive, so even if this gun was moving like very fast, like even if you made it go, I don't know, 1,000 miles an hour this way. So this is the barrel of the gun, and here's the bullet. The problem is when bullets fire, it's this insanely, big explosion. And so what the bullet does is it bounces off the barrel of the gun until it hits the rifling. Okay, and then it spins. And so so the air cushion is created. So as the bullet starts to move, there's a huge amount of air pressure on the sides. So there's a thing that's